Jordan trying to shake off Starks. Oh, what a move.
LeBron James with no regard for human life.
12 seconds. Bryant for the win. Iverson against Gill. The crowd on its feet. Allen for the win.
Welcome to the Sneaker History Podcast.
What up, what up? Thanks for tapping into the Sneaker History Podcast. My name's Nick Engvall, and I've spent the last 18 years working in the footwear business helping companies like Complex, Finish Line, and StockX better connect with their customers. More importantly, helping sneakerheads turn their passion for sneakers into opportunities in the industry. I started Sneaker History nearly 13 years ago as a way for me and my friends in the sneaker world to have a place to talk about the business without the influence of corporate footwear giants telling us what to say or telling us what sneakerheads, I'm using air quotes there, should be featured in our content or invited to be on the show. It's with that spirit we're charging forward thanks to all of you who have recently donated to help cover the costs of keeping the podcast going. If you feel like chipping in, you can find all the info you need in the description or by joining our Discord community, which is linked below. I'm looking forward to taking the show to new levels in the coming months, with more guests from the community, talks with industry professionals, and deeper dives into the sneaker stories that shape this obsession we are all so passionate about. One last thing before we get into the episode. Do the right thing and tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a compliment will take you, and we all know how good it feels to be on the receiving end of some appreciation.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Sneaker History Podcast. It's your host, Mike. I'm running a solo mission today, but I brought on some help. I brought the homie Haas from My First Kicks podcast. Well, Haas, what's up, buddy?
What up? What up? No Nick, no Robbie, no Rohit.
So we recorded yesterday. So we just try, our plan is to really just stockpile as many as we can.
Yeah,
so sometimes we'll run a 4-man. We get 3 of us. We'll do something like this, kind of, get a special guest on. So trying to stockpile because it is, with everybody like having families and stuff, sometimes it gets hard to link up. So it's perfect that we can bring in special guests like you, Haas, and just have more episodes with guest voices, basically. No,
yeah, for sure. I mean, look, I'm honored to be on you. I feel like I've been trying to get on this podcast for 2 years, bro.
I'm the worst with scheduling, man. I will tell you this. I am the absolute worst. I'm like, just someone call Nick because I'm terrible at this.
I got the text. My boy who's been listening to my podcast is episode 1, right? I went to college where music's like, oh, so the Soul Brothers get on the pod, but what about you? And I was like, listen, man, I'm not gonna be, I am pretty loud about not being on other people's podcasts, but I'm not gonna be like, yo, what about me?
I'm the worst. So my thing is that it's if because we and you were talking, if someone just brings it up to me and I actually am not running around with my family, like my kids and my wife, I'm open to let's do it. It'd probably be on a random Friday like we're doing today, but I am you just call your boy up and I got you. we make it happen. We make it happen.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm not so I mean, we could definitely talk about it, and I spoke about it on Adam's What Are Those podcasts, and it's I'm not this. I am the squeakiest wheel. I want to be on everybody's podcast, right? And I want to be on. I want everybody to be on mine because I feel like collaboration. It starts with me, right? Because if I want more people to invite me on, then I should invite first, and then hopefully they invite back, right?
That's how it goes.
Yeah, but I think, and I addressed this on his podcast. I think. We're in a community where everybody thinks they're the cool kids. So the cool kids don't really want you to sit at their table, right?
This is crazy. It's crazy, man. It's funny because I feel like if we're the cool kids, I'm still the uncoolest of the cool kids. I never think about it. It's I'm just happy to be in a room sometimes. Oh, cool, y'all thought about me. I appreciate you.
No, but I'm the same way, right? Because I never thought I would sit at the table, and then you finally get to the table, and then you're like, yo, but can I bring my boy on? That's how let me bring everybody. Yeah, come on. The doors is open, but I think the people that some of the people look. Complex Sneaker Podcast, big podcast. Do you think either of us will ever be on an episode? I don't know.
I'd be cool. I'll be like, look, I won't say no, but I ain't gonna hold my breath either.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not cool enough. I'm here's a cool kid table. I'm I'm at a cool table sitting by the bathroom. They sitting by the, they got their own golden table up there.
No, but appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, man. No, man. I appreciate you being on. I appreciate, like, if you guys, a while back, I was on Haas's podcast as well. And so, man, I definitely love to bring it full circle and just, I like that some time has passed. So we both have grown as people. So it's like different perspectives on things and just a lot of things have happened in the sneaker world since then. So it's really cool just to circle back around. And, like, so first thing we do on our podcast before we dive deep into everything, I have to pause myself here, is we do a rocking and copping. So, my guest, you got to go first, Haas. What you got, man? I saw you pointed out a box. I want to be surprised.
We're doing cop, just recently cop first, or we doing rocking?
Whatever one you want.
Because I can do rocking. Rocking first. I can do rocking first. It's on top, right?
Let's do rocking.
All right. So I recently put these back in the box, literally just before we started recording, as I'm cleaning up. So I'm like, I just recently wore these, but my Melvin SBs, the black pair.
Man, how long you have those?
I've had these since 2010, I think I want to say. I used to play DDR in these. I talked about this a lot. These are pretty worn. I talked about these on TikTok.
That's awesome, though, man.
I love these shoes so much when I first got them that I just wore them to. I was in college at the time, so I was wearing them to school pretty often, and people would be like, "Yo, those is crazy," and then I'd go play DDR after. So I'm not the cool kid. So just so you know,
dude. Okay, first off, I haven't heard DDR forever, so I am not only there with you. I used to have the home setup.
Yeah, too. I had the home setup too.
The little soft pads that kind of suck you, like slide around your carpet. I think I can do it now, but
you tear an ACL if you do it now.
Oh man, I'm gonna tear something. You have to come get me off the floor. Like,
but I had a friend that actually had like the actual metal pads in his crib. It was crazy. And I'll be like, we go to LES, because that's where he lived, and we would go, and I'd be like, because it's no handlebars, it's just the metal pad, and I'm like, yo, nah. It was ridiculous.
In my insurance policy, I am gonna hurt something today, dude. That's crazy. Okay. You pulled out Heat to start with. So what you cop? What's
my God, I gotta do both at it. All right.
Oh yeah, you gotta do both because now I'm intrigued.
All right, these recently just dropped. I got the there as these. Okay.
When did they come out? I kept hearing about them. I kept hearing people talking about it. I didn't know they dropped already there.
Yeah, they dropped. Well, they were dropping across skateboard shops this past week. So then sneakers dropped it like 2 days ago. I think it was 2 days or Tuesday. Okay.
I'm not the loop half the time on that. I swear I'm never paying attention to sneakers.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's it's a clean. I like the color, the dark green. I'm always a dark green.
Well, and these come with like which I didn't know until I saw a picture, but these come with like a gajillion laces.
Oh crap!
Yeah.
What is that? We got black, green, orange,
and then
dark green. What is that?
And then they got a black and orange. So and then new like different lace fronts. Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah. That's pretty dope. Was that did they upcharge you on that one, or is it still at 125?
I think the collabs are 125 now, right? Yeah. Because it was with tax, it was like 130.
That ain't bad though. I mean, I still like the shoe. Like I know people went through their wave of dunks, and like I've always been a fan of SB Dunks since I was a kid. So I grew up in a small town in Texas where we didn't have a skate shop really, or at least a skate shop with SB account. So I've always loved them from afar until I got older in college, and I was able to go to places and start buying them. I'm so happy people are starting to fall off that wave. I'm just buying up everyone I get my hands on now.
I mean, we're in this era now that's post the buy everything era. Now it's let's be selective, and that's the bread and butter. That's where sneakers is fun because you don't have to be like, I have to get this, I have to get this, I have to get this. Now you're like, I'm gonna get this. Let me try to get this, save my money, and then wait for the J tips to come out.
J-Tips, if you hear this, need a release date, sir.
You saw how I baited everybody with the name of the podcast?
Yeah. Man, I was like, this guy. Nah, man, but it's awesome. I like that. I like both pairs. Good stuff, man. So I'm gonna jump to the other side of the fence.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Adidas ZX 8000 Aquas. This was the one that came out in 2020.
Okay.
So it's like the age one. They had really nice. I
like that blue.
Oh, dude, it's so nice. Yeah. I like it better than the original because it's not as bright, but it still has some brightness to it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a rumor that I'm not cutting mine open, but there's supposed to be like a slab of boost in here, I think, to make it a little bit more comfortable.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say that is not a comfy shoe.
No. And they released 2. They did the traditional, like the bright pair. They did this one.
Mm-hmm.
Someone cut the bright pair open and had boost in it. And rumor is this one has it as well. And it makes sense because I can wear these without feeling the, the old school burn of like no technology. So yeah. I think it does.
Is that like a retooled, or is like that's from going on, or is just like a special edition type of thing?
So Adidas can never make their mind up when they do stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it's always like, oh yeah, we're gonna do that. Oh, we're never gonna do it again. But it is same tooling. Like nothing's changed. I mean, as much as it can over 30 years, mm-hmm. but same tooling on the ZX8000, and they just basically, I think, because there was nothing in it to begin with, and they just hold out the sole kit and just threw a slab of boost in there. Like not a big slab, but it's more than what you get, so it's more comfortable than what it actually, was to begin with.
Right?
So, yeah. Which other brands would try stuff like that, but we're gonna get to that later. My copping. It is. I want the freaking electric SB Dunk. Wanted to drop. I missed out on it on sneakers, so. I was going to buy my son a pair. He's about to start 5th grade. So I was like,
you talking about the Safari?
Yeah, Safari.
Okay.
The electric pack, I guess they call it.
Yeah.
The whole deal.
I just call it the Olympics pack at this point.
Dude, so I didn't realize that every pair of sneaker they released this year was a lead up to the freaking Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the red String of Fate, mm-hmm. the crushed velvet or the crushed burgundy one, and I got the Trocadero Gardens floating around here in someone's boxes.
Right.
And I was like, dude, I just need to get the Safari print one just to kind of complete my own personal set of these.
Mm-hmm.
But really cool. I love what they're doing with the SBs. I know people are like, oh, it's not a collab heavy, year, so we're not liking. I'm like, there's some great GRSB out this year.
I just wish they would do more highs because I'm such a big fan of highs.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's been lackluster for a lot of the highs. I feel like we've just getting nothing but low after low after low.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny. So I'm actually a buddy of mine. I haven't been terrible because we got hit with a freaking hurricane a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So my life has been trying to get back in normal schedule. But yeah. I have a pair of the Biotech Air Trainer 3s. Mm-hmm. I can't wear them because the freaking side hits and digs in my foot. And I love the shoe. I just never wear it. So he's trading me a pair of his DS Maui Wowie high top SBs. So I was like, all right, cool. I just like to get to the freaking post office. I'm like, he wants those a lot. I'm like, those are pretty dope. I'm like, hey, this is perfect trade. We're both happy.
They're both really good shoes. I love the Biotech 3. I even almost bought one recently because I saw somebody put them up in one of the Facebook groups. And I'm like, yo, they're so sick. That color, because you don't get these color clashes that that's my thing. I love color clashes, right?
Yep.
Where Biotechs are always just 7 different colors or whatever, 4 or 5 different colors. I'm over exaggerating, but I think that I think we're going to start getting more of these crazy colors. I mean, look behind you, you got those AE1s and it's what can you wear with this? It's anything really. Just be loud. Be loud.
even J-Tip floating back there. Yeah. I mean, we got green, tan, brown, pink. I mean, all these colors are coming in. That was my favorite thing about shoes. Back when I was in high school, college, that was my thing. What's the brightest colored shoe I can get? I was always a big fan of
same
all the bright stuff, man. And they're coming back with that because I like my earth, I like my clothes earth tone, but my shoes to speak up for me. You know what I'm saying? That's how I like to dress because I'm not a big fan of bright clothes, but shoes I throw some bright orange Galaxy pack on LeBron's all day. Let's go.
Let me tell you, bro. Let me tell you. So I if you've noticed, I lost a ton of weight, right? So I've been trying to wear more clothes, right? Because when you're a big guy, and I don't know if I'll speak for 70% of the big guy nation, right? You kind of you find clothes that hide your body. So you wear a lot of black, you wear a lot of bigger clothes and bigger pants, and you try to just hide your body. But now that I don't have to worry about that much now. I've been trying fits and but I think this past 2 weeks, I tried one crazy fit and I'm like, nah, I can't do it because I'm like, how did I step out? Also, I don't have just because this is another one of those like fat phobia things, whatever, where it's like, I don't have a full length mirror in my house. So I get dressed. You get
like from the waist up, you don't know what's going on.
I like look down and then I have to like, you have to do like the, all right, looks good.
Your foot up and
So all my shoes are super loud because I've dressed so toned down from, and now I'm buying, like, I got like a ton of camo pants now that I've been buying. And like, I got light,
camo pants.
I got like light shirts now, and I'm trying to make it all fit together. And people are telling me like, yo, you look great. And I'm like, nah, man, I look crazy right now.
It's just, you know what? It's literally, you just gotta get used to it. I think I will tell you this. I am not the best dressed in the world. Like, I am the person who will, you give me cargo pants, you give me a soccer jersey, or just a black or white t-shirt, I am set for life. When the wintertime comes around, a flannel or a hoodie, that's it for me. I'm the most basic person, but at the same time, I just like stuff that's clean. I like stuff that is, I don't like a lot of branding on things. It's just too much for me. If I got shoes going on, I feel like I got to wear the same brand of shoes. It's just hyper branded up here. I'm like, I don't want to do all that. Just give me something that's simple and clean. That's why I like kids stuff, but I won't buy kids stuff because I'm not trying to spend $80 on a t-shirt. I'm cheap. Like, Target is my friend.
I mean, but that's the thing too, because like, well, growing up, I spent so much money, most of my money on sneakers that I would just go to Old Navy and cop the whole fit, right?
Yeah.
And so now it's like getting out of that mindset, because now all the pants that I got are like $30, $40, right?
I'm just saying.
But then it's also just like, I do want to wear something crazy. Like, I want to pull out a Stone Island here, and
okay,
now that I can fit it.
Stone Island, yeah. So all right. So this is, hey, we're gonna call out every clothing brand that's listening to this. Help your boys out, because we need help.
We need help.
We don't want to pay for it. We ain't gonna lie to you. We just don't want to pay for it. Oh man, but shoot. So what we really want to get into as we started off, I mean, something you and I are kind of neck deep in all the times. Just maybe we have different mediums than the writers or maybe the bigger shows out there, but sneaker journalism. I mean, no matter where you look, Instagram, TikTok, us on YouTube or on Apple or wherever all the podcasts are at, there's sneaker journalism everywhere. But there's been a varying degree of, I don't know if integrity is the right word, but it might be, because we get a lot of things that unfortunately are clickbait. So with sneakers, it's almost like, in my mind, like the weather. You can say so much, get it wrong, and because there's so much more coming, it gets buried and no one has to take accountability. And you can just say whatever, get your clicks up, and then move on. So that's something that's, when you brought that up, I was like, man, that's something I've been thinking about for a while, because there's not many places that produce legitimate journalism around sneakers, because they just think it's a good, I can just say something about it, I can put a mock-up up, move on to the next one just to keep people's attention, because you'll notice the clicks come when it's like you'll see the same thing on your For You page or whatever page, and it's the same thing over and over again. People are scared to dive in. But what are your thoughts on that, Hollis?
I think, so like, this is the perfect spot for this, because, we both enjoy Nick's writing. We like, I think he comes from the height of where you would actually do real background information and try to actually paint a picture without having the actual shoe first. And then you'll be like, hey, we have these shoes now. Right. So that leads to the hype of like, oh, I got to go make sure this, then I know about this shoe. Now I can go, like, now I'm invested in these sneakers, right? Yeah. So we've all of this has just been cut to where now we just see this shoe. There's no context. Somebody just goes, like, for example, recently, what's the newest thing that's been leaked now is the Union ones, right?
Oh, they're gonna be so upset about that one, because I've heard that's wrong. But
yeah, and I'm pretty sure I knew it was wrong too, just from the pictures. But people have just been spreading it and just being like, hey, this is going to be the new Union, right? Yeah. Where's all, like, now you're just cutting, Chris Gibbs and his whole team at the knees and being like, oh, we don't get a chance to actually, tell a story with this shoe. And I think I've seen mixed reviews about it, because the last brand to call that out was an SB brand.
Oh, was it? It was against the store. Oh my God! Hold on. Oh. It was private selection in Dallas.
Right.
They called because they do the early bird. So they had a shoe. I cannot remember if it was
forgot the shoe.
Skate Club. What's the Crenshaw Skate Club?
Oh, was it Crenshaw? No. I think it was the release before that.
Okay, it was somewhere around that same timeline though. But
I know I can split. I can change it. I can pivot. Bricks and Woods New Balance that got leaked. And Casey Lynch was like, yo, we had a whole rollout plan and now we're just kind of like, now we're just going to kind of do it. Right. Yeah. The surprise and the integrity of like, hey, I got somebody I can go to actually like write about this shoe without having, like, you can have the shoe or you can read the shoe, like have the shoe in your hand, but you're not going to post a picture of it and just tell nothing about it. Right. Yeah. You know, like, in the early days of Complex, which is, Russ Bankston, shout out to Russ, former guest, Nick DePaula on Slam, like former guest as well. Like these are people that put their time and effort into making sure that there's facts, there's, storytelling being told, and also you get to be part of it. And that's all I feel like it's missing. And so because of that, sneakers becomes this hollow hobby. Mm-hmm. And
100%.
And when it becomes a hollow hobby, we have people that are trying to put some integrity back into it, and then it gets looked at as gatekeeping.
Oh, dude! So it's funny because not only gatekeeping, people they're not receptive of takes, and the thing is like well thought out takes. They're so used to hot takes that everyone should be Skip Bayless of sneakers. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah. I'm not just gonna talk out my neck. But so I one of my things I like to do, I started doing shorts to cover a quick subject. Just so like, hey, you know what? I know I don't do long form sneaker news videos, but I can do 60 seconds, 90 seconds on a particular topic, give my thoughts and move on. But I give a well thought out thought, mm-hmm. like something I really care to bring out to the public. And it's so funny is like, for example, speaking of $250 Jordan 1 we're getting, I was like, hey, I think it's silly because it's supposed to be premium materials when we're getting premium materials on the 85s already.
Right.
People are like losing their minds in the comments. I'm like, that's okay. Like, we don't have to agree, but it's one of those things like if someone from Complex said that, they're like, okay, that makes sense. I'm like, dude, I'm putting in just as much work, but you guys are spurting off the wrong information and like, yeah, it's mind-numbing to me a lot of times that it's one of those things like people have their select people they will go to, right, wrong, or indifferent. Mm-hmm. But going back to Union, if anyone has a question about what the Union will look like, he won't tell you because he won't ruin the story. Right. But he'll tell you if they're wrong. Mr. Unloved Ones, another friend of the show, he is. If I'm not mistaken, I go back to this post like before the last one came out with the weave on it. I'm pretty sure you already said that there's not going to go back to that same color block.
Yeah.
But people are, again,
the man has not been wrong. Clicks. Yeah.
He has not been wrong. Again, he won't ruin a surprise for you, but he will tell you if you're on the right track.
Yeah.
And if I will gladly say I'm wrong if he did say they were coming back with the same kind of color style, but I'm pretty sure he had already mentioned that, hey, from what he knew, they're not going back to that color style. And that wasn't that long ago.
No, yeah. It's funny because I feel like I've said this on Twitter and I've seen other people talk about it on Twitter where it's like, people don't care about the facts of it, but they'll spit it out. And I always wonder what is more important to the person looking at this. Is it more, do people actually want accuracy? Or do they just want to be able to comment and say something about it?
It's the comment. People want the top comment. I didn't know it was a thing until recently, and I was like, wait, the top comment is what people shoot for here? Mm-hmm. So we're going to say something wildly crazy just to be a part of the whatever this is. I don't know what you want to call it.
The zeitgeist of sneaker.
Like, come on, man. Like, people are wild, man.
But then it also affects us because, like, I've switched my content. I'm not really making TikToks. I'm not doing any of that stuff anymore. I'm doing more of just like, I'm just pushing the podcast, and I'm going to be doing more like short form video essays, kind of like what Bima does right now with Collab Lab. And for me, that's more of just like a concise thought versus being like, you know, a Leroy, a Morgan, or a Flex or something like that on TikTok, where they're just trying to get, you know, specific reactions and interactions. And I don't know if it's like 2020 really affected us that bad that we can't have a sit down conversation with people when it comes to our hobbies and passions that we love, or is it that's just the way the internet is now and we kind of have to accept it, or we just get swallowed up? Like,
I think it's both. I think it's a little bit of both. I feel like because this hobby of ours is still niche, no matter what we say, it's still a niche hobby, but it became more visible during COVID because, again, The Last Dance. I mean, we can always point to the exact moment, The Last Dance, as you saw prices, everything start skyrocketing, and people got, you know, people get mad when I say this, but it was true. Like, people got free money. Like, it happened. Like, some people need the money to be smart and do things with, but for lack of better terms, people got free money and started doing silly things with it, and they started driving up prices. Some people started businesses with sneakers. Some people just started buying up everything. So it's one of those things now that happened. So they just ate up the soul of the hobby. Feel like it kind of got eaten up a bit. And then you also have the internet's going to internet. Like, if I didn't see your face besides your profile picture, I could say whatever I want to you and have no repercussions. Because guess what? If we did on the street, it might knock me out if I say something crazy. The people don't have that fear anymore, so they get wild out here just clicking away.
You know what's really funny? I don't get none of that, bro. I've been making content creator podcasting for 4 years. I get zero of that. And I don't know if it's because I'm just not as big enough, or is because my content is it's like that good that nobody can pick it apart and be like, yo, this guy sucks.
People will fight. So now you said that, watch, you're gonna look, you're like, dang it, that person there. But give it to me. Give it to me. Well, I think it's hilarious because if it doesn't happen a ton, but as I've gotten, like, the YouTube channel's gotten bigger, people just like to, again, everything I say is opinion based. I always ask people, do you like this or do you not like it? Let's have a discussion.
Right.
They go into like, so Yeezys, they went on sale. Was it $350 compact, went on sale for $110, right?
The Yeezy boot was down from $600 to $180. I almost pulled the trigger.
Right. Okay. And this was like very known. Like, anywhere you click, you saw Yeezys on sale. So listen to this. I made a video. I bought my first pair of 350s. It was a compact. Like $100, had a gift card, easy buy. Like, why would I not buy it?
Right.
I named the video $100 Yeezys or $100 350s, and just some guys like, I didn't even watch the video because I know this is a lie. You didn't buy a pair of Yeezys for $100. I'm like, okay, for you, sir, I bought a pair of Yeezy 350 compacts for $120 plus or after tax and shipping. Is that better for you? I'm like, what do you like? If you didn't watch the video, how in that world you just gonna tell me I didn't do something?
That's crazy, man. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's part of why I think when it comes to sneaker journalism, this, like, the cycle does, like, because before it was, hey, you can leave. I remember the invention of, like, or Matt Halfhill said on my podcast when he thought about the when he thought to add comments to the comment section to post on Nice Kicks.
Yeah.
And how that went crazy because people were like, oh my God, I can actually, like, be part of this, right?
Yeah.
And so that evolves into now people are posting content about basically what would be on Nice Kicks, right? You talk about reviewing a sneaker, you talk about this next sneaker coming out, and now the comment section has moved to everybody's individual video.
Jesus.
And now think about it, like, that's sneaker journalism at the current state. And if everybody's For You page is of like content because of algorithms, all the contents are probably going to get worse and worse because you're watching the same video over and over again, just by different people.
Oh, yeah. And that's the craziest part. I'm like, I mean, there's always, no matter what you do, there's always going to be some overlap in content because a lot of the bigger channels are going to do the hot thing. Like, so what's the next shoe we got coming out? I don't know. Whatever the next hot shoe is, everyone's going to have it. Everyone's going to review it. That's cool. Me, personally, I try to find the most random crap that I like that I review, like things that no one's thinking about or very few people think about. Like, I think I have the only video right now of someone talking about car who's like the only American video, I should say. And it's like, it's just really just people need to expand their thought process, I think, because if they were to be receptive of information and then respectfully agree or disagree, we would be in a better place, because I feel like sneakers is like the most volatile subject for something that's made of leather, synthetic materials, and rubber. I'm like, what? Why are we all mad when something put on our feet? Like, we should be all like, I'm chilling. Like, I wear sneakers, like they're cool. Like, I don't need to impress you.
Yeah. I think they're in the same vein with music. So as soon as you're like, oh, I think this person sucks, you're like, there people are already at your throat being like, what's wrong with you? You haven't listened to this album. Wasn't it? Like, I think it's the same thing with sneakers, where you're like, oh, I'm not a big fan of the 16s. And somebody's just like, what?
Slap you like, what?
How dare you? My mom bought them for me. She went home. She worked 3 jobs and got them. I'm like, but that's not my story. Leave me alone.
Yeah, you like them. It's cool. It's like, you like them. It's just like, but I hate that a lot of these pages now really play to that ignorance of people. So sneaker journalism turns into, all right, clickbait. How many times can I get this fake engagement of, if you only could wear a Jordan 3 black cement or Jordan 4 white cement for the rest of your life, what would you wear? It's like, I didn't come here for that. I came here for a story about a shoe. I didn't care about your random thought. And then you got people fighting in the comments. Yeah. You're stupid. Why would you wear that? It's like, we've lost I mean, again, I don't mind like cool novelty things like that. I never want to take that out. It's fun. But because it becomes, again, ignorant and like verbally violent, I'm like, it's just all off of a speculation. Everything, all the anger is off speculation.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's what.
Okay, time out. Nick Engvall here. I'm sure many of you have seen the clips of the show across social media, but did you know that you can watch the whole episode, get early access to every single episode, and even check out exclusive episodes of the show? You can join our Patreon for as little as $5 per month, and even cheaper if you sign up for a yearly plan. It helps us keep the show going, and you'll be the first to know about everything going on in our community. If you can support, hit the link in the description to see all the options. Thanks for listening, and now back to the show.
But I think that's what's lost in the community, because at one point, once it transitioned off of forums and then to IG, it was more about we're not sharing information.
Yeah.
And now we're just stating our opinions, and it becomes more of a one-sided conversation. And now I think ever since that transition, that's what we get now. Right.
Yeah. It's about who's first on IG. It's like who said it first, who has a picture of it, who has it in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter if someone has a thoughtful opinion of it. They just want to be, I'm number one. And that's it. Again, no substance behind it.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to live on freaking, when I was in college, I lived on Nice Kicks website, man. Like, I literally, from Celebrity Sneaker Stalker, was it the On-Court Sneakers, just all their, like, write-ups about releases. Dude, anytime I got back from class, I'm like, what's going on? Like, what's in there? Like, what's releasing? Like, I worked at Champs at the time, so, like, literally trying to figure out what was coming in before it actually came in. But it was, again, I never ran into anything on Nice Kicks at that time, in that time frame of false information.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were good about if something was wrong, they would go update the information and say, hey, we said this is actually this.
Yeah.
Most places don't do that now.
No, man, I don't know. And I feel like it's always the same, like 3 people that we're all going to for like sneaker news, right? Mm-hmm. And that's not necessarily Sneaker News, the website.
Yeah.
Right? Like
in general, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like the pipeline needs to be opened more. And I don't know if if the brands need to step in and give other people chances that are not just making IG reels and being like, this is the shoe you should be checking out if your feet smell like toast every morning. Like, it needs to be like, I've seen brands take chances on you and your ability to review and actually tell a story. I've seen brands take a chance on Kari, who may be I don't know, a bigger figure.
No, I want the Kari stuff.
Yeah, I want to say more of like, a head-butting figure or something like that. But I think what I want out of like just this, segment or maybe a possibility, it would be brands to actually take chances on people who care about the message that they're outputting with their content rather than selling a sneaker through flash and fast action,
Yeah. I mean, so it's funny you say flash and fast action. So it's almost like you have kids, Haas?
Nah, I don't have no
kids. All right. So
step kid.
Okay. So did your step kid get ever into the Coco Melon?
Nah.
Okay. So the issue with the Coco Melon was that it was like less than every 3 seconds there's a movement. So it kept the kids' attention, right? So that's what they're basically trying to do with sneakers. Just keep moving. We don't care. No, just come on, buy it. Just buy it. And when you get it in hand, how many times have people gotten these shoes in hand and be like, oh, God, why did I buy this? Like, I didn't know anything about it. It was flashy. It was cool. But again, like, you go back to people like Kari and even like someone I just discovered through TikTok. I haven't had TikTok long. There's probably about a year, maybe some years and change now. But Seth.
Seth.
He does early stuff. He does early looks, but it is a pretty for a short span of time. You get a decent amount of information. Like whatever he has, he's dumping on you in that 60 seconds, that 90 seconds, whatever it is, But I mean, it's simple. He's not flashy. He's giving you shots of the shoe, giving you his opinion, moving on. Kari, I like how he goes in. He gives you a full story. Like he's not in reels. He's doing like a whole freaking episode.
Yeah. I remember you messaging me being like, "Hey, how do I do longer videos like him?" And I was just like, "You got to get the blue check, bro." And
I was like, "I'm not paying for that. We're never doing it." I was like, "Dude, it's like that's the thing. It kind of." I like what they're doing. They're getting their chances from the brand, and I really do. I appreciate that. People who have a heart for what they do, and then also is it 80 Sneaks? I cannot remember his real name.
Andy.
Andy, thank you.
These are all former guests of the pod, bro.
Again, he doesn't review anything. He just gives you this beautiful shots of the sneakers. You get to kind of form your own opinion on him. He's not forcing anything on you. I love just being able to look at his photos and what he's doing, and it's cool. I like that. And then even like going back to just like the kind of TikTok stuff, I think that Flex and Morgan do a good job because they play off each other super well. And they're almost poking fun at the current state of sneaker culture. And they really, and people don't realize it, which is hilarious to me because they're like getting upset about it. Like that's what they wanted you to do. So I like the contrarian like thought process there. So there's a lot of people that I think brands should be looking at, but I feel like, and I'm just speaking from no real evidence, but I feel like Complex just kind of has the brands in a chokehold because they have the infrastructure. Hypebeast, which I love reading as well, doesn't get the same. I feel like the same coverage at least as Complex does because they're more on the international stage.
Yeah,
Complex has the stakes in locks. Is like
for sure.
They don't give anybody a chance. Like they don't want anybody in there.
I think but I think sneakers specifically, I think Complex puts a lot more effort and money behind it versus Hypebeast. Hypebeast is all streetwear and fashion, right? Yeah. I feel like people are either going to Complex for two things, and that's music and like hip hop, mainly hip hop and sneakers because. Yeah. I mean, they lost First We Feast, so they're not going for food anymore. So
I love that show.
shout out to the bros, man. That's my guy, Sean Evans.
Sean Evans come on the show.
I've known him for years. That dude always gives me mad love when I see him.
That's awesome. I forget you're in New York, bro. Like this whole time, I was like, I thought you were somewhere completely different. I did not realize you were in New York.
Nah, but I mean, me and him, I was one of the. They called me like one of the original Spice Lords. So yeah.
Wait, this is a whole different story. I feel like this.
so when Hot Ones first started, right? I was a big fan. I was the only one telling people about it, right? Yeah. For a good minute, and people were like, "I don't know what's that Hot Ones. What is it?" Right? So there's a hot sauce convention happens, and I saw Sean was going to be there, so I go. I say what up to Sean. Talk to him, and he hits me with like, so what's your favorite episode? And I go, oh, Bert Kreischer episode. That's literally my favorite episode, right? Because Bert is ridiculous. He's crazy. And then he's like, oh no, you're a real fan. So then he introduces me to his entire team.
Oh, that's dope.
And then ever since then, they've always knew me, right? So then I go to Complex Con. This is the full circle moment. I go to Complex Con, and they skip me because he's like doing like this whole picture opportunity with where he's like making a spicy margarita for people, and they're like, oh snap, Haas, what's up? And I was just like, oh, I'm filming for my podcast, and I know Sean's busy, so don't worry about it. So then the GM, Chris Schomburger, turns to me just like, you just want to skip the line? You can just go. Don't worry about it. Like, you can ask him your questions and you can film it or whatever. So that's how I got that video. He asked him, what's your first kicks? And so, but me and go way back.
That's cool, man. I need to. Me and my family, we about to move from Texas. Ain't nothing happening right here. It's boring.
I'm sure there's stuff. You just gotta find it. That's the thing. I've had Professor School on, and he's in Dallas. I've had Higher Learning, I think that's how you say his name, the homie Joe, and he works with Amma Munir down there, or Amma Muniris. That's what we call it on the pod, and I think there's stuff out there. You just got to find it. I mean, you got kids, you got a family. It's hard to be outside when that's the thing. But if you can get them into sneakers, then it's a lot easier.
Oh, dude, my son's already become a problem.
Yeah. So then you just got to just take them to. You just like, yo, look, and then you get to experience it. You get to do it. I think there's a way to maneuver. You just got to find it. I think, especially you're in a city. You're around a city. Either you're in or you're around a city.
I'm around. We moved outside the city a while ago. We're like,
yeah. So you just got. I mean, the one thing is people know who you are. I would say for sure, and especially in sneakers. So I think you just gotta just be like, hey, I would like to be at more things, and I suffer from that. That
makes sense.
That was my problem for the first out of pandemic was I wasn't going to anything, and my biggest growth has been this year because I've been going to a ton of stuff.
That's
right?
all, man.
So, but it's also you kind of have to do that legwork, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for example, and this is all it's all still sneaker media because I would consider ourselves part of sneaker media.
We dang well better. You know what we do
because I'm not necessarily pushing a narrative or anything. I'm actually just talking with people that make up the sneaker community, that make up sneaker news, right?
That's sneaker media, dude.
Sneaker media, yeah. So, what I did is just, if I see an event and if it's free RSVP or whatever, or I know somebody, I don't wait for the invite. I go. Right. I said this earlier, just like squeakiest wheel gets the oil. You kind of just have to. People. I think that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, right? But sneaker people think they're too cool. We all think we're so cool. Like, if nobody knows I want to go, how is somebody going to know to invite me?
I'm gonna start finding a list because I'm bad about finding the place. I just don't know what the heck is going on half the time. And so when I get invites to places, I'm like, cool, I'll go. This was not this year. Last year. Last year. I get stuff in my inbox randomly all the time. I'm like, oh, cool, okay. So they invited me. Some PR company reached out to me to go to the premiere of Air in California. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, let me go. I meet some people. I got to shake hands. Like I met Speedy from Complex over there. Got to actually talk to Jacques Slade face to face. Like I've already talked to him before, internet, but that's a whole different face to face. Maj, who was on a podcast, but I actually got to sit and talk with him for a while as well. So I think being able to get in front of people is the best thing. I gotta be better at finding events. I just never know. Cause I feel like in me person, I'm not a big fan of rowdy crowd. So every time I see something oh, this rapper's releasing this with a shoe, I'm I don't want to go around that. Cause I know exactly what part of town is gonna be in. Nope. I gotta make it home today. So
I mean, there's a balance. You got to find the balance, especially when you're I want to be part of this community, but you can't be. Hey, I want to be part of this community, but I'm not going to go to anything.
Yeah, so I'm just going to find better things to go to. I try my best to go to, most of the things are out of town. I do my best to go to them. I went to, SneakerCon when it came here. They got to do something better about that next time they come around. But I definitely have made my way to some different events. And it's been cool, man. It's just one of those, I'm trying just to find more. And just a balance because I still work a 9 to 5. I got to pay these bills, though.
Same. I'm not gonna say what I should be doing right now, but yeah.
I'm not at work right now.
Yeah, I'm not actually getting paid for this episode.
I'm like looking at my computer,
yeah, I don't want those pings. But yeah, I've been recently getting a lot of invites to pull up to the Black Footwear Forum, and
cool.
yeah. So, but it's just like, you got to be in spaces like that to have the opportunities, right? Like ComplexCon was huge for me. That's how I was able to get my interview with J-Tips. How I was able to get my interview with Jason. I got to talk to Speedy. I got that clip with Marco, Funny Marco. It's all about being in that position because you can send an email. That's the thing, right? See, that's I think that's the biggest disconnect, especially with like podcasting in general, is that people think that it just takes an email to get somebody on or something like that. So it works for, I don't know. I treat it like when I'm sending out resumes when I was unemployed.
It's like a 30%.
I would even say it's less. I would say it's less.
Could be less.
Maybe it's better for you because you guys got a bigger following. But for me, it's less. It's like 1 out of 100 every time, right? But I'm still throwing them out because you just never know, right?
You never know, man. Yeah. You never know. It's like one of those things. It's like you got to shoot your shot because you never know who's going to actually respond to you. Mm-hmm. I've had decent luck. I think I probably shoot at a 30% clip when I email people for like any kind of correspondence. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about either yeses or nos. And I'm like, cool. The fact that you responded means you're paying attention. So if you tell me no now, that means you knew it was enough to respond with at least instead of ignoring my email. So I think that's a small win, but no, I 100% agree. And that's why I try to meet people through the platforms. It's like, I don't go straight for emails. Mm-hmm. I like to interact with people, like go through like, if we'll sit there and message on back and forth on Instagram, I like to have a conversation with people because I don't want them to think this is something transactional because it's not, unless it's a company coming to me purely transactional, like for a transactional purpose, then it is what it is. But when I'm meeting people, like I always like to tell some people, it's like, no matter if you're going to be on a show, no matter if you're going to send something, I don't really care. That's cool. That's just icing on the cake, but I'm trying to build relationships with people to build a community because I feel like, again, like you said, everybody's trying to be the cool kid. Let's go back to those days of Nike Talk where it was a community of people where sneaker cons were actually cool to be at and not just people, trying to outshine the next and not talk to each other. Like, I want you to come talk to me about my shoe. Like, I was trying to talk to people about theirs. Like, I wore something crazy this year. Like, come talk to me about it. Like, I want to have this conversation. But
no, yeah, I recently saw a couple with Run the Jewel sneakers on.
That's amazing.
Both, like the I don't know, the wife had girlfriend had the girlfriend had the lows and the guy had the highs, and I was just like, oh, I Run the Jewels, right? And then they did not turn back. I guess they were scared of me.
He's a black man yelling at me.
Oh no! He's trying to make me run the Jewels.
Dude, that's a shoe I still need to get. I don't know why I'm just like
I still need the highs. Like
I need both. I mean, I think Rohit has the lows. Mm-hmm. I'm like, dude, I just need to get both of them. I literally drag my feet on stuff like that sometimes.
Yeah, I messaged back and forth with the designer on that shoe, and then I have fun fact, I'm in a music video with them. So
what?
I need that shoe. I need that high.
You're like, hey guys, kill Mike, help your boy out. He was in your video. Well, okay. So we talked about dunks. That's a perfect transition of what we want to get into next, and that is like retros. So if you guys have been paying attention, I feel like every 5 minutes they have announced a new retro or a Grail retro coming back out, but we have yet to see anything with any kind of, I won't even like say super new technology, but give us a new silhouette for Christ's sake. Like, we're not getting anything of any original thought. We're getting the same thing recycled over. People are losing their mind, and they're killing us with charges. I mean, I made the point in the video, and we talked about it a little earlier, but the 85 band Jordan 1 coming out. Awesome. I want that shoe, but I saw the price tag at $250. I'm like, there's no way. I refuse.
Right.
I can go buy a newly teched out Jordan 39 for $50 less. what's the disconnect? Why are we being charged so much for like these Jordans with no technology? I mean, the Jordan 4 Undefeated or any Jordan 4 now is what, $210, $220 bucks?
$215, I think it is.
They hurt. Like, let's be honest. They hurt. They cool, but they hurt.
I mean, they comfortable to me. That's my favorite model.
Visibly, when it comes to cosmetics, I love the 4. The 3 is the most comfortable to me.
Oh yeah, for sure. But you can't make a 4 into a 3. Like the shoe models is different. But I think, brands have always been trying to perfect a way to make the margins so drastic that a $5 shoe can equate to, 150% profit. Like they've been doing it for years. They've been successful doing it.
Yeah. You ain't gonna stop today.
No, yeah. But I was in a space talking about Nike stock going down, and wait, no, I didn't get to talk actually because I was on a city bike at the time. But I wanted to talk. But what in my head, what I see, and I posted about it after because I was like, I was in the space, blah blah blah. But what I think is it's good because I remember in the 2013s, right? Right? When did Lunar Lawn come out? Was that 2013?
That was like into 2011 going into 2012.
Right. And that was the big downswing of Nike, right? So my thing is, as long as the stocks are going down, that means they're losing money. That means they need to reinvent the way that they think. That means the current way of retroing and stuff like that isn't working. Yep. And they're going to be like, all right, we got this new tech. Or they've been holding on to this tech and they're like, all right, let's pull it out right now. You know, I think the DNs were like 2 years in the making or something like that. And obviously it was a bust in my opinion because I don't think the shoe looked good at all.
It's a dud, but I was telling Robbie yesterday, I was like, you know what got me? The Olympics always get me. I saw the Olympic colorways.
Oh yeah, that Olympic colorway.
You don't want it.
That Olympic colorway, I was like, yo, if I see that at Marshalls, I'm copping. Give me $50 on that, I'll get that instantly.
You really want it.
But I think, and then they also spent that money to do all those 3D printed stuff in Paris. So
yeah.
But I don't know if that was like I was like, is that teasing new tech or is it just
nothing? That was their way of being artsy in Paris. And like my thing is this. It's like, all right, I know there's probably not a ton of new creations with cushions you can come up with. I mean, we got Zoom X, we got React, we got Air, we got Zoom Air, you name it, Tubular Air, we got all this stuff. Cool. Let's do something with it. Like, why are we still, if you're gonna pump out all these retros, I got you. Just like we talked about the ZX8000 having boots hidden in the midsole and not changing the tooling. Why can't you give me like a Zoom Air Strobel Jordan 1 where I can like justify a cost increase, but I still get my classic. But now I'm comfortable because let's tell you this now. I've turned 35 years old. I will put on a Vomero or a Omni 9 or before I'm putting on a Jordan 1 now. I'm like, it's not happening. Do something, like give me something of value because they just let's change it but make it look stupid.
I mean, but look, all right, so we got the 4RM or whatever it's called, the Nigel joints, right? Yeah. That's a reworked shoe. Everybody is like so on the fence on the GR versions and being like, Nigel's really selling this, so I'm going to cop the Nigel pair. Yeah. But we have yet to hear if the shoe is even comfortable. What like all that stuff. I think
I'll be on that soon, by the way. I'm going to buy a GR. I want to see it.
Yeah. You're going to get the black and white one?
Yeah, I like that one, actually. So we'll find out for real. I'm not being paid by Nike. I pay my own freaking money, so let's find out.
You just got to get, you got to get 100,000 followers, bro. And then that's it. They'll just start sending you stuff.
Yes. And call me Kites Omar.
Yeah. But I think that, we got the retooled 4. So, but then the bread 4 or whatever. I don't know how sacrilegious you guys are on this on the pod. Is it cement 4 bread 4 here?
Man, I don't care. Whatever you call it.
It's a bread 4 for me.
I call it black cement 4. That's just always new, but I don't care who you call it. I'm not that old and terrible to care.
But we got that retooled as a Nike SB4, and now we're getting a ton of Nike SB4s, supposedly. But To be honest, I think when I've seen and you mentioned retros or undefeated for all these grails that open in the vault, whatever. To be honest, you know what I think it is that they're trying to plug a leak with whoever's leaking this information. They're trying to plug that leak within the brand and being like, these are not really coming out unless we say it's coming out. This is my shrink theory, my tinfoil hat theory. I think that they're trying to plug a leak, and that person is definitely on thin ice as he's like, the next, guys, the Floms are coming out. And so they're like, we got him. We know it's Arturo on the third floor.
Anytime Brandon Dunn comes up with the leak, they're like, you did it, didn't you? It's just nuts, but I don't know, man. It's the leaks are one thing that's awful because it's always a fake leak because I don't know what they're taking pictures of. First of all, Jesus, you have a better camera phone at this point. And then two,
they still on Palm Pilot phones over there.
Bro, they're using a disposable Kodak camera with bad lighting. Looks like, and I'm like, but it is. I don't know. You're right. I think they're leaking this on purpose now. I think they're doing it to say, you know what? Fine. We're just going to tell you everything we got coming up. I think they've abandoned 2024, first of all. I think anything they had plans for, they said, screw it, we're out. Let's just pile up 2025. Have you ever, any past years, seen the amount of retros be leaked or announced at one time? This absolutely insane. I mean, there's a couple I want, but to be fair, there's not. The vast majority of those I can live without. I mean, flu games, I never had them, so I'd love to have a pair. Cool. UNC ones, I love the color. If I can get a pair under retail, great. And then 85 Royal One lows. That's it. That's all I want from the retro category at this point. I mean, there's nothing else that's like, ooh, but guess what? All these other brands, Asics, Saucony, putting out this fire right now.
Right, yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to go talk to it. Plus it's cheaper. Like, come on with it.
Yeah, the way the sneaker market is right now is definitely has been a fight for your pocket type of situation on the brand side. And we can talk. I mean, I don't really care about stocks. Like, I don't think any consumer should care about a brand that they buy from stocks unless you are a stockholder or you're some sort of stakeholder within the company, because at the end of the day, they're just trying to make money off of you. And when people are like, I'm worried about, the stock's going down, so now Nike's going to be pushing all these new retros out and stuff like that, I'm just like, why are you, for what? Are you sitting on the board and I just don't know?
Everyone thinks they work for Nike. It's hilarious because they think they're getting a check. Like, when they're bigging up Nike, I'm like, I love Nikes. Like, like the good portion of my collection is Nikes. Like, I'm not going to say I don't, but people have to understand, like, if you like something so much, criticize it so you get a better product. Don't just big up this nonsense they're putting out. Like, stop. Like, you're hurting yourself at this point. You're like, oh yeah, Nike, because they think they're going to get a free pair. I mean, that's all it is. People think they're going to get a free pair. Nike not looking at you. They like, let me see your pockets. Like, run them pockets.
Run them.
They don't care. And they have to realize that. But if you really truly do like a brand, criticize it so you get the best product out. And people don't seem to understand that. Speak with your dollar, speak with your opinion. And I guarantee you, if you say, you know what, this is trash, and now people say it, they're going to do something about it.
For sure. I will say, I got the Field General, and that shoe is comfy as hell.
Really?
So, yeah. Right. But I'm also, I mean, look, we're in the business of feet. Wow, that sounds very crazy to say.
Not that website.
Feetfinder.com/Mike.
Don't be looking for me.
Mike G on Feetfinder.
Gotta get these extra dollars.
It's like the podcast not doing well. But I think that, shoot, I lost my train of thought now. We're in the business of feet, so where all our feet are different. So, like, some people got wide feet, so this shoe doesn't fit them right. Like fours with the pinky killer, I find the Omni 9 to be one of the most comfortable shoes I've had.
Yes, it is.
In maybe the last 5 to 10 years. I thought that was going to be the GPS shoe, but that shoe is now, going through HR complaints. So I can't really, I can't really wear it as often. But the Omni 9 has definitely I feel like Saucony has stepped into the lifestyle comfy game.
Oh, yeah.
And they are not missing at all.
The Triumph is fire too. I love the Triumph. I'm like, as soon as I step in there, I'm out. Let's go.
Yeah. And Nike has taken, I don't know if they're taking, I feel like they are spending too much time on the individual stories than they are actually on the tech of shoes.
I mean, they don't tell stories well anymore. The only 2 stories I got were Nigel's, which was really good. Like they kept that one under wraps for a while, and we got a real commercial. We got a real rollout of that one, and then Sabrina,
yeah.
There's no other stories that they're trying to tell.
We got the KD producer pack. I feel like that. Even
they failed that one horribly.
I agree that they failed that one, but they still put money behind
it. They made them.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I feel like, I don't know if there was really a story to be told with the unions, but I feel like the packaging was really dope. And I just don't like, it's just a locker. I'm just like, cool. But the shoe is comfortable as hell, super affordable, and it was readily available. So I feel like they're taking steps to kind of, see, but that's the thing. If Saucony is building community, because that's what I told J Tips on his episode just past week, where I feel Saucony is taking more time to build community, and by doing that, by investing in people that actually have community around them, while Nike is like just kind of like slapping brands and their designs onto their whatever trajectory.
He's like a NASCAR. Like they just slap anything and get on there just to get like that coverage. But no, I agree.
McDonald's Happy Meal.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. But you made a good point. I didn't even think about it like that. But Saucony is definitely building community because the way that they bring stuff, like they roll stuff out, the way that they interact with fans. I mean, how often when you post something and tag Nike, do they like respond, which is a like, or say something? I had Nike SB said something to me randomly. I was like, oh, that's impressive. But Saucony all the time. Like, I can hit up Jason, talk to him about like some of the stuff they have going on. Like, I'm trying to retrain my body for another marathon coming up, and I was talking to him about runners, and that's what I'm talking about relationships. They're like, not asking for nothing. That's like, I just need your advice. You work there, you in the shoes all the time. Which one would you recommend? So being able to sit there and talk to people. J Tip's still trying to work on getting him on the podcast. I just keep catching him at like the wrong time, I think.
Don't worry. I told him to not do any other podcasts anymore. Mine's the last one.
Just play the shoes, J Tip.
Just play.
But the thing is,
I mean, look, also Minted New York has a whole, like, now they're about to put out their, what is it? The foam runner.
The Triumph? No.
It's a blue shoe, but it's a blue running shoe. I don't remember.
It's the performance runner, but I cannot think of the freaking name of it. And that was going to elude me. I'm trying to fix my computer screen. It's like leaning. But yeah, no, they have that one. And that's one of the shoes I was looking at as one of the ones to train in. It's like, oh, okay. Because I saw them posting, like, wonder if it's any good. But they're willing to talk with people. I love the fact that they engage with their audience, and other brands aren't doing that. They need to really take cues of that. Even ASICS, I don't feel like the ASICS isn't like communicating with their audience. They just know that they got this one shoe that's just a monster, or maybe one shoe's a monster and then like 2-3 little monsters that people want off, like a brand's off of that one.
Yeah, and then I'm because like we should probably talk about all the other brands, and I feel like On and Hoka are in On's good. You guys are probably the only corporate shills for that brand in this space.
So the funny part about that is like, so I got reached out to them randomly. So I hadn't tried it on before. I had nothing bad to say about them because I just never tried it. And I make a point. I will not disparage your brand unless I've tried them and they're awful. And then typically I just won't talk about you because I wasted energy at that point. But On reached out to me after and through email. I was like, maybe this was meant for Robbie, like, because he wore on before me.
He wore, yeah. I don't know. I remember watching him run on his page, doing his runs in Portland, and I'm just like, this guy's a beast.
He was all about it. I'm like, all right, cool. And like, he reached out, he gave me like one of the PR firm who was working with him was sending me stuff. I'm like, yo. And I got like mad. I hadn't tried them before because they legitimately really good shoes. They don't have the same look as everyone used to. I was like, because some dude was trying to like challenge me on Instagram. He was like, "Oh, you say it's a good shoe. I don't see any pictures." I'm like, "Do I have to post a picture about everything I wear? Like, what do you want?" Like,
it's wild. I mean, everybody. I blame Nightwing. But you got to blame Nightwing for that. If you as soon as you say something good, you need a full. I put this shoe through 9 obstacle course test. So
no, don't worry. I put a link to the YouTube video. It was like, look, I didn't take a picture, but since you're smart, go watch a video. No response.
No response. But I mean, Hoka recently did that, like, I really love their dub taps. I call it dub. I say dub taps. W taps.
I don't know the name of it. I'm like, what someone tell me?
Yeah, I was talking to somebody from Hoka about them, and I was like, yeah, I really love those shoes. Solomon also, I feel like they've taken a huge step back with their community outreach.
Well, they got uppity. Their pricing was always high, but I feel like it's gotten worse.
Yeah. And, I mean, you touched on ASICS, and I feel like ASICS is trying to get more.
They do everything through Kith. Like, that's their outreach is through Kith. So, I mean, and it's still, again, the thing about, like, when we look at brands like Saucony and I'm not saying they're the cheapest shoes in the world price point wise, but they're accessible to most people. At least they have a variation that's accessible. Even ASICS does. They're just not really good about getting out there, reaching out to people. Because, I mean, I don't know, man. It's just, I guess, whoever's in the office, who's at the head of the table, who wants to go out there and really get down with the people. That's really what it comes.
But Roman's back, so he's at the head of the table.
Oh, see? Well, come on, like, let's do something. Like, I just feel like it's one of those things. It's like, it's easy. It's such an easy concept.
Yeah.
And that's how you get opinions. I mean, and if Nike, I know Nike has events like the running events and all these things, but
listen, right. But it's funny because you say that, and I remember how prevalent Nike Run Club was out here, right? Yep. I feel like a lot of the cool stuff that they used to do weekly or even monthly is kind of like out the window now. Yeah. On has their run club. I've seen their run club. ASICS has a run club too. Does Hoka have one? I don't think so, but they do some.
I'm sure they probably do something. Yeah.
I think they do like cool activations here and there, and then trying to think. Adidas doesn't really do anything out here.
I think they did something with the coffee joint out in
Puerto Rico?
No, in Portland.
Oh yeah, the
Robbie was out there with the Ultra Boost.
Yeah. Oh no, I was thinking about the Bad Bunny activation that they did. They did a couple.
It was they did something with they did I think a Dead Stock. That's the name, Dead Stock Coffee.
Dead Stock Coffee, yeah.
And I think they did because there was a bunch of people wearing the Ultra Boost 5s. I don't know if they got to keep them, but they got to like test them out and do a run. So Robbie was in that group.
Imagine, like, all right, guys, we're gonna go for a 5-mile run. We're gonna do a quick 3K.
Get them things back.
But yeah, you got to bring them back.
Right. Here you go. Like, I know how I sweat. I'm like, you don't want these things.
Yeah, bro.
It's easy to do, man. It's like, again, if you were to have an event with invite 100 people, give out 100 shoes, that's a drop in a bucket. I'm not saying give 100 of your Travis Scotts out or 100 of your Unions out, but I'm like something you're trying to push. We even say the Air Max DN. You have an event, you're trying to get the shoe out, give 100 of those away. That's a drop in the bucket for what you're going to sell.
Yeah,
a little bit of goodwill goes a long way, and I don't know. People remember that kind of stuff, and it just sucks that you look at people are willing to like I said, people are willing to ride and die for Nike, thinking they're going to do something for them, and Nike's like, "Nah, I'm just going to take your money, and you may get the shoe, you may not. I don't know." Like, it's crazy, and I don't know, man. They could do a lot different. I mean, from their sneakers lives to things like that, they can really get more audience touch that are.
I mean, all that's gone right now. So they did that last sneakers heating up live, and that season they were like, yeah, we don't even know if it's coming back. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
So the approach is going to be, I feel like it's going to be totally different now, but we'll see.
Well, I don't know. I feel like they've already found out that they screwed up with the direct-to-consumer with everything being online.
Mm-hmm.
So they got to go readjust that. They're going to readjust a lot, and they see it. I mean, they have to see the writings on the wall that they're going to still always be the leader. At least for our lifetime, they're going to always be the leader.
Right. But it's all about innovation, right? So, what's the next thing? Yeah.
Do something.
And it has to be something to, I'll call back to the Lunar launch. Like that launch was absolutely crazy. Mm-hmm. And it was on everything. You got a Hyper Dunk, you got a Air Max, the Chukka, you got everything. Like
everything, man.
They need to have another moment where they put out this whole line of new tech and it's branched across, legacy models to revive what would be like the next wave. Yeah. Because once that happens, everything falls because everybody's running towards that, the multicolor Lunarlon. I forgot the Air Max number, but I had that, and I was like, "Yo, this is crazy! It looks fire." This is during the. Remember when they used to have the Nike Plus?
Yeah. I don't remember what it was. Did it have the white upper and the Lunarlon had like the? Nah,
the Lunarlon. It was a running shoe.
Yeah.
And it was black. This was when they were doing that black blue colorways for everything.
Oh, the Lunar Glides?
I think it's the Lunar Glides. I think it was the Lunar Glides.
Yeah. I remember they released that though, because I wanted the Hyper Dunk, that new Hyper Dunk with the black blue. I love that the way it looked. I remember the LeBron poster, him about to the Dunk Man pose, and I'm like, dude, that's how you roll something out. I mean, Flyknit, for example. After they had the medal stand from 2012 Olympics, how much did we get Flyknit on everything, bro?
Everything.
And did it make sense all the time? Absolutely not. But guess what? It was an event. Like, I went looking out for every freaking Flyknit trainer, racer I get my hands on because it was cool and different.
Mm-hmm. So Lunar Glide plus 4 is the one. That's the pair I had.
Exactly what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, man, it's just, I don't know. It's gonna take the consumer making a switch to say, you know what, I'm not gonna buy you right now, to force them to make a change. Because right now, me and you saying, hey, we're not gonna go buy this, but a million other people are like, oh yeah, when they come out, I'm gonna try to buy them. And it doesn't help that I say we, because everybody spend all this money on resale that they thought they could just jack the prices up on everything. So it's kind of a twofold thing. It's like they know we're willing to spend the money, and they know they have someone who's going to buy it all the time.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Nike is because it's an interesting. I've always said this a lot. And people probably just don't listen to me. I'm like old man yells at waves hand at cloud with this. But people don't realize how much power they have being the consumer, right? Yeah. And if you're just being fed garbage after garbage, and you're like, "Thank you more, sir," they're just gonna keep giving it to you. Yeah. So
they just have to. Yeah, they have this constant urge to want the newest thing, and when the newest thing is being put in front of your face all day, and then you have people constantly in your face on YouTube or TikTok, or it's like, hey, Nike sent me this, you should buy it too. It's like, now you feel like, I have to. Like, they're making them like, it's this trigger of the fear of missing out is a real thing. It's like, it's literally, I feel like a chemical imbalance in people. It's like, if I see this, I have to have it. I have to go get it. And they're playing off of that. They're playing off of the need to have it because you saw this person have it.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
For sure.
Yeah, who knows, man? Anything out there that's like catching your eye right now? Like any kind of particular model, anything that you've been like, besides the Omni 9s that you kind of been like really digging into?
Pushing forward. Let's see. I think honestly, I've been looking more towards I need a Hyper Adapt. Like, I never got a chance to experience that tech. And I was always like, oh my God, if it ever comes out, I'm obsessed with Back to the Future, just like every kid, every kid in the 90s. And I never got a chance to experience it. Yeah. So it's a shoe I always keep looking for to see if it would dip to like a price I will be okay with paying for it. For sure. And now that they, chop the app. Yeah. And I'm just like, whatever, still give it to me, But in something new that's coming out that's been pulling, I like the 10.0, the ASICs. What is it? The ASICs 10.0.
Oh yeah, it takes
10.1. I think it is.
Yeah, it's like a hybrid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that one. I like that one.
Nimbus. The Nimbus.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen like pictures of that one. I like that kind of stuff. Speaking of hybrids, the Gel NYC 2055, I like that one a lot. I like that better than normal Gel NYC. I think it has a little bit more like depth to it. So
to be honest, I am not a fan of that shoe. It's 2055. I don't know. Like it just does not call to me. The same thing with like the 9060 New Balance. That shoe I think is hideous.
I think. Oh yeah, that shoe's terrible.
That shoe is huge. Yeah, it reminds me of Alien, like Alien the movie. And I'm still trying to think of like another shoe off the top of my head. I'm a big fan of the recent iShots, the iShot 2s.
Those are nice.
They're fun. I wish they got more love. I feel so bad because it's such a good looking shoe, but people don't want to take the chance on it. Type of thing.
Only SB they want is SB dunk.
Exactly.
But speaking of SB, I want the PS8. That one looks pretty good. I like that that design. They actually shot dropped that one on sneakers, so I missed that one. I thought I was going to sit around. Wrong. But those are pretty cool. I like the idea behind them. I guess it's all eight sneaker problems with skaters. So I think that's pretty dope. Other than that, trying to think anything else out there really.
I had another one. I'm a big skateboard sneaker guy. So the New Balance Numeric.
I do want to try those. I've been looking at those, and I keep seeing pictures of some really nice ones. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to just break down and do it.
Yeah, the 808. That's what it is. The New Balance, the Thiago Limos, and also I'm a big fan of Jamie Foy. So Jamie Foy has his own. He has a 306, and the 480 is kind of like the sleek model.
Yeah,
like you can pull up to the club in these, but. That is, I think I have to pull the trigger on one of those because I just wore my first New Balance.
Wait,
recently.
like completely? First
in my life, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I have the Concept C-Note, the re-release.
Oh yeah.
And so I just recently wore those, and I was like, all right.
He's like, this is the thing.
This is it. This is definitely on the list of more wears, please.
If you want to spoil your feet, get the 990 V6. So good.
When Kith releases, I'll get it.
Well, they did. They did the New York Knicks pack, and they were beautiful.
Yeah,
of course.
I couldn't get those, but I had to go to Madison Square Garden to get them.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they like dropped on the thing, but to easily get them, all you had to do was go to Madison Square Garden.
Dang.
On like Kith night, and I think they were like, "Yeah, you can get them." I was just like, "All right."
What odds of that? Freaking odds of that. Shoot, man. Well, man, I appreciate you, Hoss, man, coming down. I'll say coming down, getting on the computer and talking with me.
Coming on down, man.
Coming on down. I did. It's funny. I've never been in New York. Me and my wife always talk about want to go up there, so definitely to go up and like hit you up. And there's so like there's so much more there. You guys are like open all the time as opposed to we close down here at 9. So
oh yeah,
everything shuts down here early, like 9 or 10. Like everyone go home.
So then, how early do you have to get barbecue?
Well, you see, since I can do that crap myself,
excuse me.
Yeah, you don't know, man. You don't know.
Mike got the brisket recipe.
Dude, what's up? I got the smoker in the back of the house right now. What you need?
Let me pull up.
It's an event. I got the whiskey, I got the bourbon, I got the beer. What you need?
All right, I'm in. I just need a plane ticket now.
Yeah,
and a bed.
Come on, hey, we got room. Come on down. Now let the people know how to find you, brother.
Oh yeah, Who Was House on all social medias. Follow the podcast, My First Kicks Pod. My last episode was with J-Tips. I've interviewed Mike. I've interviewed Nick. I interviewed Robbie on there. I think they're still up, but they have no video. So we're going to have to probably run a lot of these back. If you have a My First Kick story, myfirstkickspod@gmail.com. Would love to read it to a guest. If it's your first time seeing who I am or finding about this, my podcast is strictly about the journeys that sneakers have taken people on. So I don't necessarily break down the new stuff, and that's why I'm so talkative on this episode because I have lots of yeah. So I'm more about asking the questions and seeing how far sneakers have taken people, and using it as a through line. So if you're interested in that and you like stories, come on by to the My First Kicks pod and check me out.
Come on down, yeah.
My First Kicks on YouTube. If that's it, you kind of just have to look. Yeah, my First Kicks, but I know it's like you kind of just gotta My First Kicks on YouTube and TikTok, and then My First Kicks pod on IG. So
just go subscribe to every last one of them. Help the man out, because I know you do one. I hate it, man. You do one, you got like 1 million subscribers. You look at another one's like, I got 5. Like, what's going on? Come on, help a brother out.
It's tough, and I think we're supposed to talk about a little bit more about our journeys in podcasting, but we can save that.
We're gonna circle back in that one. I just get you back on. We're gonna do part 12, whatever we need to do.
But just for anybody listening, if you can hit that subscribe button, because I'm trying to be like Mike. I'm trying to get paid off these videos.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. It's a 5. Look, I'm still not overnight success after 5 years, so I'm still working on that day. But no, man, yeah, y'all go check them out. Definitely worth a listen, worth a watch. It's really quality content. It's not just that fly-by-night crap. There's just a bunch of clickbait, like we've been talking about earlier. Definitely check them out and hit the subscribe button, of course, to Sneaker History as well. Check us out on all the major platforms of Sneaker History. And until next time, guys, see ya.
Peace.
Hey, Nick here again. Before you take off, I want to thank you for listening to the Sneaker History Podcast. Be sure to hop into our Discord to answer this episode's The Last Shot question and get to know our community of sneaker enthusiasts. If you'd like more insights on the trending topics in the sneaker world, I've also recently started a newsletter to share my knowledge from nearly 2 decades of experience working in the footwear industry. You can find the link to that below or go to sneakerhistory.com/newsletter. And last but not least, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to be on the receiving end of some appreciation. Thank you for all the support, and we will catch you on the next episode. Peace.